What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, real quick introduction. My name is Jeremy. This is Fishing the Lone Star. Do a ton of videos of unboxing, on the water, tips and tricks, catching fish, and then also a lot of gear and tackle reviews, which you'll see coming up in some future videos. But today we're doing a unboxing of the Regional Pro box for MonsterBass. This is the June Topwater box, and it is stacked with some awesome baits. We're gonna break it out, we're gonna unbox it, and at the end, we're gonna give it away. So stay tuned, we're gonna give the entire box and its contents away to one lucky viewer, subscriber, commenter. I'll give you the details in just a moment. So in today's unboxing, I'm gonna go through all the details in this box. I'm gonna give you kind of one step further, not just unboxing on what the lures are, but a little bit of how I use them, a couple of tips and tricks that'll help you get the most out of these lures, help them be a little bit more productive for you, and help you catch some fish. All right, let's dig into some of these baits and lures. The first one I'm gonna pull out is the Sonic Buzz by Razer Tackle. All right, now I actually already have one out of the packaging right here. You'll see there's different forms or sizes. So this one here, for example, has a skirt. You may get one that does not have a skirt. All right, still the same thing. But one thing I really like about this buzz bait is, first of all, it's got a really good sound to it. Listen to this. So I don't know if you hear that squeak, but that squeak is really what you want out of a buzz bait. That's one thing. The other thing is when you throw in a buzz bait like this, you want it to run true, all right? So I'll point it this way. You want it to run true as you're bringing it through the water. Oftentimes when you're burning a buzz bait, or not even burning it, but just reeling it faster, because again, these things are gonna sink if you stop your retrieve. They're gonna fall down the water column. But if you're reeling rather fast, sometimes they tend to turn up on their side like this. And that's just not a great presentation. You want it to stay and run true. So far, I've found this one, the Sonic Buzz by Razer Tackle, to run very true, and again, makes a really good noise. So you've got a buzz toad on the back of this one. You can kind of throw whatever you like on the back of them, or sometimes I'll just run them with the skirt themselves without anything on the back. Multiple different options here, but by Razer Tackle, the Sonic Buzz is a great little buzz bait. Now, I will throw that normally on a heavy rod. You can get away with a medium heavy. I do throw it on braid. All right, so this is a loose Super Duty reel. I throw, this is actually my frogging rod that you'll see here. But I will throw the buzzbait on this rod because the braid floats, which allows that buzzbait to stay up in the water column. You can use fluorocarbon though. I've thrown a buzzbait before on fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon stretches a little bit. It's not gonna stretch enough to impact your hook set. So a buzzbait's a moving bait, it's an exposed hook, your hookup ratios will be fine. So medium heavy rod, you can use braid, you can use fluoro. I would not recommend monofilament. However, monofilament does float. There's still way too much stretch though in monofilament to get a good hook set in my opinion. But a medium heavy fast action rod or a heavy fast action rod will get the job done. I just happen to throw mine on my loose Super Duty with 50-pound braid. I normally will just take off the frog, tie on the buzzbait, and you're good to go. All right, I'm gonna stay kind of in that category of a kind of a buzz frog, if you will. And this is the Yama Frog. I'll pop one out of the packaging for you. All right, so this is the Yama Frog. Now you're gonna get one of a couple different colors. This one's black cherry. You may get like a green pumpkin chartreuse, something like that. But these little legs on the back kick and float, kick and gurgle quite a bit. Now the plastic itself, I like to rig it weightless with a 5/0 hook and can just kind of Texas rig it on a 5/0 hook. I do not add a weight to it though, and then you basically just want to burn this across the top of the water. If you stop your retrieve, it will slowly kind of flutter and fall. But even as you're doing that, even if you do stop your retrieve, those legs on the fall are still going to flutter in the water column, and it's not really a bad presentation doing that. With this Buzz Frog, I will still throw it on the same application as my frogging rod. So again, I'm gonna throw that on braid because braid will float. It'll help that buzz toad or buzzing frog stay on top of the water column. And I throw it weightless, again with the 5/0 hook. You're gonna get a couple different colors, or one of a couple different colors from MonsterBass, but that Gary Yamamoto frog does really well. The only downside to this is just with any Gary Yamamoto bait, the plastic is super soft. You get a ton of action out of it, but it's super soft, so you're probably only gonna get maybe 1 or 2 fish. Now, that being said, this is a 5-pack, so if you catch 5 fish, or in some case, between 5 to 10 fish out of this 1 pack of baits, I'd consider it to be pretty darn good, but it was awesome to see Gary Yamamoto baits in the MonsterBass box. All right, we're gonna stay in the frog category for this next one. This is the frog by Vicious Fishing. I believe it's called the Pad Runner. Let me pop out of the packaging real quick. All right, here it is. And one thing that I wanna call out, first of all, it's just your normal hollow body frog, really good soft plastic, really stout, sharp hooks. A lot of times when you get a frog out of the packaging, you have to do a lot of modifications, okay? One thing that I did, as you'll see in this one, let me see if I can show this to you the best way possible. But if you take a look at these hooks, you can see on this one, I've bent them out. This one, I've not. So what that means is the hooks are somewhat kind of curved into the body that you'll see right here, right? Whereas this one, I have somewhat, I'm gonna try to hold the leg so you can see this. I've somewhat opened those hooks out a little bit. They're a little bit more exposed. Now, it still is weedless, but opening those hooks out and up a little bit is just gonna allow you to have an improved hookup ratio. But on either of these, I did not trim the legs, so the legs stayed the same. It does walk pretty well. The frog walks pretty well. One thing though that I did notice when I was using this frog is on the bottom, there's a decent sized hole where the hooks go in. It does pick up a little bit of water, so to prevent that, I would just add some super glue right around that edge, and that'll seal that hole up and you won't get as much water. It won't take on any water. But overall, I really like this frog. I've already caught fish on this frog. It works really well. There's super stout hooks. And so let's talk about the equipment that I use because of those hooks. All right, so the frogging setup, my frog rod, again, is a Lew's Super Duty reel. I really like this reel because it has a really heavy drag system. The reason why that's important is a lot of times you're fishing frogs around some heavy cover and you really want to pull them out of that thick grass or lily pads, wherever it may be, and this reel gets it done. I've used this reel now for almost 3 years, have not had a single problem with it, so the Lew's Super Duty, it's fantastic. I throw that on 50 to 60, 65 pound braid, up to you. I think this is 50 pound braid. I don't fish around thick stuff. If you're in Florida where there's like grass everywhere, I'd probably go to 60, 65 pound braid. But 50 pound braid is what works for me. This is the Vicious Fishing braid. Has a nice coating to it, so I can sling this frog a long ways. What helps with that is this is a TFO Tactical Elite 7.4 extra heavy, kind of a moderate fast action rod. What's really interesting about this, most people would not want to use a rod with this much tip in it, if you will, that much bend when frog fishing, but there's plenty of backbone starting about right here down in the rod that it's heavy enough to set hooks. I've never had a problem setting hooks on frogs with this rod. I will say though, that extra flex in the tip allows you to make super accurate cast. So a lot of times when you go to, say for example, a 7.4 rod, you lose accuracy because it's a longer rod, right? So a shorter rod is better accuracy, longer rod, sometimes you lose accuracy, but you gain distance. With that moderate to fast action tip, I not only have distance in my cast, but have very accurate cast as well. That softer tip allows me to really hit spots very well with the frog. So I would highly recommend, if you're looking for a frog rod, that TFO Tactical Elite 7.4 extra heavy, that moderate fast action rod. It's fantastic. Lew's Super Duty reel, it's fantastic. Check those out for your frogging setup. All right, quick recap. You got a buzz bait, you've got a buzz frog, and then a normal frog. Let's now move over into some of the walking baits. All right, the first one that I'll highlight is the Ragnar by MonsterBass. It's a 4 3/4 in length, so almost 5 inches, and then 3/4 of an ounce, so 3/4 of an ounce. Walking bait. This is a big walking bait. Let me pop it out of the packaging really quickly to show you. It's a pretty sizable bait, pretty thick, but it walks really well, and I really like the treble hooks that are used. This kind of dressed rear treble or feathered treble does a great job of drawing attention. Right now, this is a big fish getter. All right, now this is something you're gonna throw early morning, later in the evening when you're really looking for kind of that big money fish. All right, you're looking to, if you're fishing a tournament, for example, you've likely already caught your limit and you're looking to upsize your bag. This is what you're gonna break out and throw. If you watch any professional fishing, you recently saw all the elite guys out on Lake Fork. A lot of them were throwing big walking baits like this, and we're absolutely crushing it and getting it done. This is the bone color. Sorry, I'm holding it upside down. That's the bone color, and the Ragnar, new and improved. This one, pretty legit. All right, these next two are pretty similar, but also different. Let me describe both of them. First one, you have the Steel Shad large popper. Now it has a small cupped lip, all right? So it's gonna pop a little bit and spit, but also do pretty well walking the dog. All right, so pretty awesome little topwater lure here from Steel Shad. And then you also have the 3DB pencil. I wouldn't say it's a popper. Again, I'm holding it upside down. More of a walking bait by Yozuri. So this is gonna be a little bit smaller in length, as you can see. This one's gonna walk really well. This one's gonna spit a little bit more. This one's a little bit bigger with a feathered dress treble. This one just has 2 regular treble hooks. So kind of depending upon what your fish are wanting. If they're wanting a slower kind of spitting, walking, that feathered treble is gonna help draw them in, then I would go with this Steel Shad. If you're looking for something a little bit more action-based, this is gonna be a tad louder, a little bit harder knock. It's gonna walk really well, and you can cover some ground. This one's gonna be a little bit slower. This one you can work a little bit faster. Both of them walk. They're both very similar in style, but both 2 really good topwater lures that MonsterBass included in this box. Now, I actually already have a very similar lure tied on that I've been throwing. This is the Strike King Sexy Dog Jr. It actually came in last month's MonsterBass box, but I throw that on 30-pound braid. Again, I'm going back to the glass rod here. Anytime I'm throwing treble hooks, I try to throw a glass rod because the parabolic bend in these is fantastic, as you can see. It is going to provide you long cast, but then when you hook up on a fish, it's going to allow you to keep the fish pinned, because as that fish comes up and shakes and they're trying to throw these small treble hooks out of their mouth, this rod is going to have a lot of bend and flex and absorb, right, those head shakes, so you keep your fish pinned. Trust me when I say that a glass rod makes a big difference on throwing crankbaits, topwater lures, anything with a treble hook. Glass rods are the way to go. But this is the Tactical Glass Bass Rod by TFO. I like this a lot. This is the 7.2-foot model, but it's got a great parabolic bend to it. It's fast action, but that glass kind of parabolic bend to it is going to allow you to bomb cast, work the bait really well, and catch some good fish. Now, one little quick tip that I'll call out here: when you're throwing braid with a walking bait, all right, I picked this up from a guide on Lake Fork. His name's Captain Ron, so I'll give him credit here. But you see these 4 pegs in front? You could add 5 of them, however many you want, but those pegs allow the braid to be a little bit stiffer. You see how the braid, like, normally is very flimsy, but right here it's stiff. That's gonna keep the braid out of this front treble a little bit more when you're walking the dog, all right? A lot of times people will throw straight braid or even monofilament, or throw a monofilament leader on their walking baits because they don't like the braid coming back and getting stuck in this treble. That right there is a way to prevent it by adding those pegs right there. Quick little tip, trust me, the fish don't care. They'll still come up and smash this thing and eat it pretty well. The good news is you can pretty much throw those last 2 lures, either one of them, or any popper for that matter, on the same rod, the same setup, 30-pound braid. I have a loose LFS reel here. I don't think you really need anything fancy. This is a $99 reel, super sturdy, super stable. I've got 3 or 4 of these. I would highly recommend them. All right, couple last things. We'll wrap up this video. I'll tell you how to win it. Your MonsterBass box does include some hooks as well. You can use these with those Gary Yamamoto baits. You got a pretty cool sticker here. Tune in Thursday nights to the MonsterBass Live, and they'll call out some golden ticket numbers, and you can potentially win. So I'm gonna give this out to someone. And then also, one thing I wanna call out, in the MonsterBass box, over the summer months, you have a tournament card. So you'll see 3 different months here that you can add your code. Pretty cool. So you can register, you can fish for free in this tournament. You can join if you're not a MonsterBass member for $25. But there's some amazing cash prizes, some awesome giveaways. So make sure you check out the tournament in your Monster Bass box. Go get registered for it. All right, guys, that's a wrap on the Monster Bass unboxing for June. For the giveaway, drop me a comment and let me know which of these lures you're most excited about getting in your Monster Bass box this month, or which one you prefer to fish with the most. I'm gonna draw a winner. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, comment with that description, and I will pick a winner and announce it in the next video. The next video is gonna be another awesome giveaway. If you like what's in this box, you're gonna like the giveaway in the next video. We're gonna do kind of a gear and tackle breakdown or a review, so make sure you watch that. Make sure you subscribe to Monster Bass, the better box. Make sure you subscribe right here to Fish and Lone Star. And thanks for checking out this video, guys. If nobody told you today, God loves you, and so do I. Peace out.